Hello, white people. You know, it dawned on me today that I am a Western Washington refugee. I escaped Western Washington with my car and a few of my personal items. Just as many personal items as I could cram into my car, and I drove east. Now, I've flown back to Washington a couple of times, and honestly, I don't even want to go back to Washington. Just the mask tyranny is too much for me. You know something? I am not the most eloquent person in the world, and I am not the classiest, but I'm telling you, I don't go around screaming at people at the top of my lungs. This mask tyranny has led me to yell at people at the top of my lungs because they're forcing me to wear a mask. And I will not wear a mask. I will not comply with tyranny. That's just basically it. I will not. You know, my American genes will not allow me to do anything that I think is wrong, and wearing a mask is wrong. It's morally wrong, and it's morally abhorrent. But anyway, I mean, you can believe whatever you want to believe, and I'm not going to tell you otherwise. And I've stopped laughing at people who wear a mask now at this point in time, because the mask tyranny has been going on for so long. Anybody who's wearing a mask is probably scared. And if they're scared and they're wearing a mask, they're doing whatever they need to do to feel good. And, you know, by all means, go ahead and do that and deprive yourself of oxygen and dumb yourself down. I don't care. That's up to you. I'm not going to interfere with that anymore, just as long as people don't tell me to wear a mask. Now, today I was in Michigan, and I went into a Verizon store, and Karen, she started yelling at me that I needed to wear a mask, and I told her I have a health condition, and she goes, well, you need to wait outside. Well, it was, you know, a beautiful 80-degree day with a nice breeze. Heck yeah, I'm going to stand outside instead of in your stale store, where you probably need to change the air filters. You know, ever since this virus thing started, I can tell which places have filthy air filters and which ones have clean, because, you know, before I never even paid attention. And when you go into the grocery stores, to me anyways, at least, everything just smells fresher and cleaner. Gosh, you know, the one of the Fred Meyers that I went into in Vancouver, they were saying at the time that I was there that they had to clean up the cash registers every 30 minutes, and I was like, my God, this store smells so fresh and clean. But anyway, I really like how much cleaner everything is. But, you know, here we go. Here's the unfortunate thing that's going to happen from this this tyranny. First of all, we're going to have some weird illnesses that are going to come out of it. You know, every time there's this massive change in something, there's going to be something weird that comes out of it. And we're going to have oxygen deprivation illnesses, and more people are going to have heart conditions. And, you know, I almost wonder, because, you know, who's going to benefit from this? The medical industry is going to benefit from this. They're going to build more equipment. They're going to do more research. You know, it's as though all of this is planned. And then also there's going to be people who are going to have allergic reactions to these masks and the materials in the masks. You know, because the masks are meant to be worn for short periods of time, not every single day, day after day after day. And then you guys probably saw my last video, you know, where if you wear a mask, then, you know, oxygen levels go below OSHA recommended guidelines. Anyway, so the mask tyranny continues. And then, I don't know if you guys saw this, Joe Biden says that if he wins, then everybody has to wear a mask. It's going to be federally mandated. I hope Joe Biden wins, because, you know something? I want to see people fight back. I am so sick and tired of people just trying to get along. You know, I understand that you need to pay your mortgage, and I understand that you need to put food on your table for your kids, and I understand that you have to put gas in your car, but my God, there's got to be a line in the sand. There has to be a line in the sand. When do we stop tolerating all of this? You know something? I gave up my entire life so that I would not start punching people in the face. Because, you know something? When I was a kid and people fucked with me, I punched them in the face. And as a 50-year-old woman, that doesn't go down real well, and I do not look good in orange. I don't really want to go to jail. And, you know, the police aren't going to enforce any laws except for people who get violent and for people who are white. And they're probably even going to enforce laws for people who wear masks. Oh, and by the way, today in the state of Washington, okay, so today is Friday. I think it's the, 25th, the 26th? I don't know, I gotta look now. But today in the state of Washington, masks are mandatory for the entire state. I was telling that to a couple of my friends here in the Midwest, and they were laughing. They're like, all right, who's going to enforce that? Well, guess what? The enforcers, they get to throw you in jail. They get to throw you in jail for 90 days if you don't wear a mask and fine you $5,000. It might be that's what I saw, but it might be a little bit different based on whatever county you're in. And God, who's going to enforce it? Now, you know, the people who are enforcing the mask tyranny are Karens and black men. In my experience, most black men are pretty cool. But, you know, there's a few of them out there, the shorter ones that seem to be little Napoleons, and they have to, I don't know, they have to be bossy. And then, of course, Karens of every race. I don't think, well, I don't know, Karen isn't limited to a gender, is it? So I guess mask tyranny is going to be enforced by Karen, Super Karen, Mega Karen. Anyway, so we can't run away from the Karens. I mean, we can feed them probably a little bit of X-Lax, and they'll spend a little time in the bathroom, give us a break, but they'll be back. They'll come back bigger and stronger. They're probably carrying Pepto-Bismol in their purse or something like that. These bitches. Anyway, so here I am in the Midwest, and I just wanted to let you guys know the difference between people on the West Coast and people in the Midwest. All right, so a lot of people from the West Coast, let's see, from when I was a kid, a lot of people went out to the West Coast probably, I don't know, maybe 50, 60, 100 years ago, and they've been out there a few generations. But lately, in the last, I don't know, since 2000, there's been a whole lot of people who've come from the Midwest and the East Coast, and this, not too much from the South, though. People who are really dysfunctional, people from, well, I don't know if dysfunctional families, but just idiots who can't get along with their family, running away, and they always complain about how horrible their family is, and they have no roots. And so people with, and then let me get to that point in a second here, but then you have people here in the or in the Midwest, sorry, and I don't even know why they call this the Midwest, it's so far away from the West, but people have been out here for so many generations that they're a lot, they have deeper roots, and they're more grounded, they're calmer, they're nicer, they're more hospitable. It's just so nice. Gosh, you know, when I was in Ohio, because I have friends in Ohio and Michigan, and I'm a lunatic, I'll drive all over the place to be with my friends, the people I really like and care about. But anyway, so I'm in going into an Ohio grocery store, and I hear that there is going to be a BLM riot close by, and I asked the fella about it, and I say, well, how many magazines do you think I need? And I said, is 2 enough? And he said, yeah, I think that'll do. But yeah, people out here, they're really, I mean, I'm not speaking for Detroit, because, you know, I do stay with family up near Detroit, but somebody told me that the county that my family members live in is Trump country. How funny is that? And we're not too far from Detroit, so that's pretty comforting. Anyway, so I'm really happy to be away from the West Coast. I'm so happy to be away from the mask tyranny and the Karens. And I mean, there's some Karens out here in Michigan, and there's Karens everywhere. You really can't escape from them. But overall, people out here are just wonderful. And if you're on the West Coast and you're wondering what you're gonna do, I mean, go to the eastern part of the state. I went to eastern Washington over the summer, and people out there are very American and very kind and very thoughtful. You know, anywhere you can leave your doors unlocked at night, that's a place to go. Really, it is. If you have to lock your stuff up tighter than a drum, then that's probably not a place where you want to be, because people just can't keep their fingers to themselves, and they're not going to be good people. They're going to be just, you know, superficial and just greedy and lusting after stuff and not willing to work and earn it. All right, white people, that's my rambling for today. I just wanted to tell you mostly about, you know, it's just so heartbreaking that I've left my entire life 50 years behind, and every single day I get emails and phone calls and text messages of people who really miss me. And even my own mother, she's like, you get your butt home right now. So I'm 50 years old, and that's my mother. She's telling me to get home right now. All right, white people, thank you so much for listening. I look forward to your thoughts below.